Do you know what we touched on though?
This is their equivalent to SummerSlam.
Yeah. And do you know what we touched on in the last episode where we said that are they really showcasing the new breed, let's say, with what was on the roster? Now, this shit's all over everything that we said because these 3 matches altogether, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 new blood, new era WCW wrestlers in these first...
I came to a conclusion, right? I came to a conclusion that I consider the fact the reason we're seeing so much shit and we're seeing it basically just chucked into 6-man tags and 8-man tags and pointless tags and tags.
Yeah.
I came to a conclusion that maybe they just couldn't afford to keep the power plant open anymore. And they thought, well, we're losing guys and guys don't really want to be part of us anymore, so let's just fucking use the guys on the power plant. Hey, but they can't wrestle. Doesn't matter. People won't notice.
Yeah, if the power plant was any good as a developmental center, as a performance center, Vince would have bought that as well. I totally agree with that.
Fuck you know.
If it was any good. So up next, speaking of stuff that's not very good, we've got an intergender tag team match between Conan and Tigress, representing the Filthy Animals, against Shane Douglas and Tori Wilson, with Conan and Tigress getting the victory.
Another tag match.
Up next is a First Blood DNA match with Buff Bagwell defeating one David Flair.
Fucking hell, it's getting worse.
Oh, it gets better. Right, you think that's bad. Up next, in a kickboxing match, Mike Sanders defeats Ernest the Cat Miller, who's a professional kickboxer.
Oh my God.
And that went 3 rounds. He got a victory in the 3rd round. 2 minutes into the 3rd round.
Was this something to do with didn't Sanders put fucking Ernest's shoes on and kick him in the face or something?
Yeah. Because they were trying to say that they were weighted shoes or lead shoes or something like that. Fucking WCW. Up next, singles match. Mike Awesome defeats Vampiro in nearly 10 minutes. After that is a handicap match for the WCW United States Heavyweight title. General Rection defeats Lance Storm and Jim Duggan. Now, this is Jim Duggan, who, as we've seen on WCW Nitro and Thunder TV over the last few weeks, he's been forced into siding with I want to say the Un-Americans, but with Team Canada, I think they were called. He was forced to side because he was like a janitor at one stage. He was coming out resting dungarees and shit. And then they basically put Hall of Fame Hacksaw Jim Duggan, one of the stars of the 80s, as the lackey to Team Canada. That's how you treat the legends. That's how Vince Russo treats legends like, and oh my God, it's snowing.
What?
I said, oh my God, it's snowing.
Really snowing?
Really snowing.
Legitimately snowing?
Legitimately really snowing.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that, people, that is not Dave bashing one out because of WCW. That is a fact that it's actually snowing.
It's the 25th of April. I've looked out my fucking living room window and it's actually Anyway, it's back to WCW.
What the fuck?
Is Vince Russo booking the weather?
Vince Russo booking the weather.
Right, so up next, a singles match. Jeff Jarrett defeats Sting.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, just why? And then for our WCW World title, Booker T, your reigning champion, defeats Scott Steiner by disqualification. So
do you know what? I'm starting to establish something because I know how a lot of these went, and I know how many title runs Jeff Jarrett had. Do you actually think, right, WCW is in that much shit that it needed financing? Do you actually think and believe that quite possibly, bear in mind, Jeff Jarrett back then was very, 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 very good friends with one Vince Russo?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? They fell out after TNA, but do you think that Jerry Jarrett financed a lot of WCW?
I'd say yeah.
Because I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Just because Jerry Jarrett has always made it his number one priority in life to make his son a world champion.
Yeah,
because
I believe that.
Jeff Jarrett is not world champion material. Never has been.
No.
Never has been.
No.
And Jeff Jarrett created his own company so he could be the top guy.
So he could be a top guy. Yeah.
And that's how TNA started.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me that Jerry Jarrett's got something involved in this.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Main event, handicap match. 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Main event. Goldberg defeats Chronic.
Fucking why?
Why? Why not have Booker T and Scott Steiner? You've just had Scott Steiner on a previous pay-per-view go over Goldberg. Go over Mr. WCW.
You've just buried your top tag team.
And you've just ruined him. You've buried your top tag team and you've just ruined Scott Steiner. Granted, obviously, Scott Steiner, we see in the next couple of months, he does get the world title belt, but you're building people up and then knocking them down the next pay-per-view. Yeah. There's no consistency. Yeah. So,
scandalous.
Let's move on to the next pay-per-view. Now, WCW loved this pay-per-view name so much, they brought out a video game, and I can guarantee more people bought the video game than was in attendance. So, Mayhem 2000, it is November. We are getting close to Christmas. We are at the US Cellular Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There is 3,800 people in attendance.
Wow.
And at home, 55,000 people, 0.12 buy rate, purchased the pay-per-view.
Wow. Jesus Christ, that's alarm bells, man.
So the arena, the Cellular Arena, it holds 12,700 people. How much of that arena was fucking taped off for Mayhem 2000?
I'd say half of it.
Absolutely. Just imagine though being. What would you say? I've not.
Well, you're gonna base it on your last. Because what you got to think is when you book an arena, you've got to establish how many tickets you're gonna sell. You're gonna, how many people you're gonna be putting seats. So really, even though people don't fill them seats, you still have to pay for them seats.
Yeah.
Even though they've not been sat in, because you're paying for the lighting on that part of the arena. So you're paying for electricity, really. Potentially. Well, definitely.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So, I mean, looking at their past buy rates, pay-per-views, you know what I mean? What they've been averaging. They would have the fucking common sense would have said, right, we only need half an arena. Fuck it, do you know what I mean?
Oh, not even that. We need a fucking smaller arena.
You know?
Do you know what I mean? You can pick, like WWE used to do it back in the day, where they're small, like I think it was at WrestleMania 15. That was held in an arena that held like 9,000 people or something like that.
Wow.
So sometimes they have to, but WCW, it's like, well, we want to be the biggest and best, and we're still going to have the biggest and best arenas, like MGM Grand, but we can only stick fucking 5,000 people in there. Now, between Halloween Havoc and Mayhem, WCW, they did a little world tour, well, a little European tour. And during this European tour, they stopped over in Oberhausen in Germany, and they did a pay-per-view that was titled Millennium Final. Now, I don't know...
Did Alex Wright win the world title?
Well, I'll quickly run down the card. Right, so we had a tag team match to kick off the show with Chronic defeating the Filthy Animals. And then we had Mike Awesome winning a Battle Royal, last eliminating Bryan Adams. We had Kiwi defeats Elix Skipper. Ernest Miller defeated Mike Sanders for the WCW commissionership. And they actually had made that a thing. So we're having a match over being the commissioner of fucking Nitro. Norman Smiley defeated Fit Finlay in an Oktoberfest hardcore match. For the tag team titles, the Boogie Nights of Alex Wright and Disco Inferno defeated Mark Jindrak, and Sean O'Hare. So Alex Wright is a WCW tag team champion in his own country.
Yes.
And then, this is where it gets a bit weird. We had a qualifying match for the European Cup. Kevin Nash defeated Mike Awesome and Alex Wright in a triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
The world title, Booker T defeated Scott Steiner. And then the main event that had Axel Schultz as like special guest referee. Now, from what I gather, he's a German, quite a famous German boxer, if you're German.
All right.
And that match, it was the finals for the European Cup. European Cup. Sting defeated Kevin Nash.
The European Cup. So you had an American.
You had two Americans. You had two Americans fight over the European Cup.
I just, you know what I mean? I was just double checking because, you know what I mean? I know geography and that, and I would have thought if you're in a European country, you kind of push a European wrestler. Oh, yes. I was just checking. Oh.
Yes. Like for example, when WWE first did the European Championship and they had British Bulldog as the European champion.
Exactly.
Do you know what? No, you can't do
William
that.
Regal. Look at William Regal in the UK. I mean,
there you go. Well, look at
you push your own guys, don't you?
Look
at
Al Snow.
Because they know it's the American that's going to get the heat, don't they?
That's it. Who,
they do.
No matter who wins this, it's a negative winner no matter what in my eyes. Alex Wright should have won this fucking match. But it's Kevin Nash 100%. Being Kevin Nash. Anyway, let's get on to Mayhem. This fucking dire of a pay-per-view. Now, can you remember, Dave, the pay-per-view poster for Mayhem?
Let me think. They have Goldberg on it?
No, Scott Steiner.
No.
The promotional poster, it said...
I remember the game, but I think the game's thing had Goldberg on it.
Yeah. The promotional poster, it had Scott Steiner in a mental hospital in like a padded cell. You had Scott Steiner in a straitjacket, and a nurse in like a sexy outfit stood in the corner of the picture with a finger in her mouth trying to be seductive. And the title says, The Genetic Freak of Sports Entertainment. Then underneath, in big red lighting, it says Unleashed.
Oh. Just when we start to take notice, is it?
So apparently, it is onwards and upwards for Scott Steiner. Apparently, anyway, if you believe this. So let's quickly run through the matches on the pay-per-view. We opened up the Cruiserweight titles back. Mike Sanders is your new Cruiserweight champion, defeating Kiwi in 7 minutes and 50 seconds.
Mike Sanders. Fucking Mike Sanders.
Awful. Our next match of the night was a triple threat of 3 count of Shane Helms and Shannon Moore, defeated Evan Courageous and Jamie Noble, defeating the Young Dragons of Kaz Hayashi and Young Yang, who is Jimmy Wang Yang to everybody else. And obviously during this period of time, Evan Courageous it's like they've done the same gimmick twice. Evan Courageous has split from 3 count, and Jamie Noble has split from the Young Dragons.
The Young Dragons, yeah.
So what do? They put them together as a tag team, and we'll put a match involving your 2 other teams. Instead of having 2 separate storylines and building them differently and making them
shouldn't they have just called them Yin and Yang? Do you know what I mean? Yin and Yang. You're the Young Dragons, you got your 3 counts, and then you've got a guy that was a heel, and then you've got a guy that was a face.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? And Yin and Yang is like, you know what I mean? It's just called him Yin Yang.
Well, you've got to realise though, we're talking about WCW.
You know if that had been me, if we'd have been in that arena that day, and I'd have just said, "Call him Yin Yang," Vince Russo would have gone, "I like that."
Yeah. Up next is a singles match. Now, I don't remember any of this, and I'm hoping you do to enlighten me. But if you don't, it works well for me. Mancow defeated Jimmy Hart. So we've got Mancow again, who we know as this comedian. Yeah. A couple of episodes ago. But in Mancow's corner, we had Freak, we had Turd the Bartender, we had Al Roker Jr., and we had Jim Jesus.
Why?
Now, apparently these people were stars of Mancow's Morning Madhouse, which was a radio show in the States back in 2000. So I was thinking of this, is this WCW's take on WrestleMania 11 when Bam Bam Bigelow fought against the American football and he brought all his mates out?
I think so. I think so.
I was trying to find something to reference it against. That's the only thing that popped in my head. Up next, for the hardcore title, Crowbar defeated Reno and Big Vito. So the next match then is a handicap match of the Filthy Animals of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman, with Tigress as always, against the team of Crush, Adam Bomb, and Das Wunderkid, Alex Wright. What a fucking team this is! And you think, right, this is not Berlin. This is not Alex Wright's German character, because that kind of maybe would have worked with Chronic. But this is Das Wunderkid.
It's mad, isn't it? It's just like fucking. They went from Alex Wright to Berlin.
Berlin were class. Berlin. I love Berlin.
From Berlin back to Alex Wright.
Berlin were brilliant.
I like Berlin's. I like Berlin's gimmick. I did like Berlin's gimmick. With the wall.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I just never got I never got the Alex Wright gimmick. Obviously, back in like the early 90s when he first debuted his little dancing fucking German gimmick, it kind of worked because we were in that cheesy. Look at what WWF were producing. Do you know what I mean? With their second job gimmicks. Do you know what I mean? It was in that cheesy era, but 2000. I know he's not quite the dancing Alex Wright that he was, but it's still that persona, that gimmick.
I didn't mind him. I didn't. I thought he was alright. I thought he was alright. Good character.
The Filthy Animals got the victory, so the fucking team didn't work. Next match, Ernest the Cat Miller defeats Shane Douglas in a singles match for 8 minutes.
Fucking Shane Douglas.
He's not looking great.
He's popping up everywhere, man. After that podcast we did the other week, he's popping up everywhere. I mean, we put him as overrated, and now he pops up everywhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's a staple part of this dying year of WCW.
Jesus Christ, he's a fucking gobshite, is what he is.
Up next, we have Sergeant AWOL, or the Wall to everybody else, against Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow gets the victory.
Fond memories of Bam Bam.
Bigelow looks about fucking the size of Yokozuna did when he fucking retired.
Bam Bam just got bigger and bigger, didn't he?
It is Big Bigelow.
You know?
He just got bigger.
Yeah, exactly. They should have just changed his name from Bam Bam to Big. Big Bigelow.
He just got bigger, and obviously, R.I.P., you know what I mean? He's another one that we lost far too soon. But
he couldn't even wear. Do you know what, dude? The sad thing was, you know his famous spandex with the flame. It got that big, he couldn't even get in it.
That's it, and he would just had to wear some gym pants and just some t-shirt he found backstage.
That's how you carry your bags together.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Bam Bam. Yeah, Big. These will fit you.
Oh, but Big gets the victory.
Yeah, lad. Is the Shockmaster's gear on? Put that on.
Oh dear. Oh, imagine if Big was the Shockmaster.
Oh, don't.
Could have been all types of bad.
It just ended. It ended nasty, and God rest his soul.
But Big gets the victory. Moving on for the United States title, General Election. He defeats Lance Storm. We've got a new fucking champion. One Hugh Morris.
It's not his only title.
It's got to be.
I think was it only his only singles title?
Well, could it have been? I don't know. We may have spoken about it. Hardcore title. Yeah.
And there we have it. Mr. Hugh Morris, General Election, a 2-time WCW United States Heavyweight Champion.
And that's it.
Nothing else to his illustrious career.
No. Probably best known for his, I want to say his treatment of up-and-coming superstars.
One Kevin Matthews being made to do drills.
Yeah, he's probably known for his rough and tumble. But he did, obviously we'll get on, it's jumping a little bit of a time machine. I'm sure we'll get to that with Invasion when it was the 3-on-3. Was it Billy Gunn? I want to say Billy Gunn, Albert and the Big Show against Sean Stasiak, Hugh Morris and Canyon, maybe?
Yeah.
It was something like that. And Hugh Morris he delivers, to be fair, in all his faults, he delivers one mean-looking fucking moonsault.
Yes. Well, it's almost like the segment we're going to get into after this, isn't it? You know what I mean? I think that's one of the main things I remember him for was that he was one of the first people to come into the Invasion angle, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
Oh, he's a bit of an animal. Like, he was a bit of an animal.
Oh, fucking hell yeah. It's fucking
Do you know what I mean?
brutal. Absolutely brutal. And, well, as it proved to all the graduates.
I think it was a case of he was in a company that kind of he just wanted to get paid, didn't he? You know what I mean? He wasn't one of these that moaned about and bitched about freaking who was the main guy. He just did his job and freaking got paid and went home. But he was definitely underused when you look at some of the, you know what I mean, the size of the guy.
No, yeah, definitely. So up next, Jeff Jarrett, he beats Buff Bagwell in a singles match in 11 fucking minutes. 11 minutes of the stuff and the stroke. And two wrestlers that we've spoken about it numerous times on the first part and on this part. I fucking despise Jeff Jarrett, and I fucking.
We said the stuff, and possibly Buff Bagwell was the only wrestler now that could possibly give me a stroke. Exactly. By watching him, you know what I mean?
It's awful. Oh, did you see? It was either yesterday or the day before. I want to say baseball game. It could be an ice hockey game. I don't fucking know. Some American sports game, where Jerry Lawler and Buff Bagwell had a bit of a ding dong.
Oh, I've seen it, yeah.
And the mascot of one of the sports teams, they put Buff Bagwell through a table. I love how they're still doing. I love how they're still doing little moments and like Jerry Lawler. He shouldn't be doing wrestling moments at all, right?
Especially with his condition.
Do you know what I mean? You just stop it. You don't need to. What are they paying him? $200 or something like that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You've got to do the contract, sons. Just stop it. I know he loves
that's kind of what I get. But it's disrespectful, isn't it? It's disrespectful.
He's an old-fashioned carny guy, though, isn't he, Jerry Lawler? He's an old-fashioned carny guy, where he loves doing these little moments, like it's an old-fashioned thing to have two wrestlers appear in a sports stadium and do a little kayfabe moment.
I just look at it it's disrespectful in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? I just sort of look at it and I think so many guys have lost their lives or lost their careers, and then you've got one. It's a Georgie Best thing, isn't it?
Well, look when they took the piss.
You know.
Look when they took the piss with Dolph Ziggler when he fucking super kicked him in his chest, and they were like, "Oh well, it were my elbows that caused your heart attack." I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't. For some reason, JR and the King, for all their good stuff that they've delivered over the years, right? We talk about wrestling's worst, and for me, Jerry Lawler and the King have been two that have been up there with the worst of people that will happily take the piss out of real life situations. And for me, talking about deaths of your parents and stuff like that, and bringing in stuff like heart attacks, where I remember watching that episode where Michael Corley were generally they were doing that piece to camera, and you could feel in his heart he just wanted to be backstage and see how his mate were doing. Yeah. He didn't want to talk to no fucking camera. I know people shit on Michael Cole. But that were an awful moment. He don't want to be talking to no camera, right? He wants to be backstage. And Jerry Lawler and JR will happily take the piss and happily run along with storylines involving their family members dying, or like JR with his Bell's palsy, or Jerry Lawler with his heart attack.
Yeah.
I just think...
Well, it was like that. It was like that thing when JR came down, wasn't it? It's when JR came down at Mania to call Taker's match, and he sat at the desk, and Michael Cole made that comment. So JR, you had a rough couple of weeks.
Why do you need to talk about it?
Why did you need to mention that?
Yeah, and you know that's scripted. That's pure Vince McMahon's lines.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, man, Jesus Christ. The whole world knows, man, just how hard he's got it. Well, and in all honesty, he shouldn't be sitting at that freaking table.
Annoyed me, right? I think it was yesterday. Like, obviously, we're recording this as of Saturday the 29th. It was yesterday. All the dirt sheets started reporting how the final toxicology report or whatever it was on JR's wife, how she passed away. I don't want to know. Why should that be a thing? Why should that be reported?
Yeah, she's passed. Leave it alone.
No, but why is she? Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like with all due respect to her, and I really do feel for JR, and it's a horrible thing in the way that she died. But why do you need to report all over the fucking internet and all over the dirt sheets? And that's why these dirt sheets and these companies and these websites will happily produce news articles that, for me, it shouldn't be a news article, and B, it's far too personal for anybody else to read apart from the people directly involved.
Yeah, amen.
And it's disgusting that people like your fucking, they say reputable, but it depends who you're fucking speaking to. Your Bleacher Reports and your Fox Newsers and your fucking TMZs, they'll happily report this is the reason that JR's. I want to know what the Undertaker's up to these days. Do you know what I mean? If that's an article that you want to print, that a wrestling fan will fucking read, right? As about gives an update what Undertaker's been up to since Mania. Go and interview him. Go and find out what he's been up to. That's a fucking wrestling article. Not, click here now for our little clickbaity thing on how fucking JR's missus passed away.
Or what Brock Lesnar's been doing for the last 2.5 months that he's had that title and not defended it and showed up on TV.
Actual news. That's why as much as the internet is one of the best things for me that's ever happened to this fucking whole universe.
Not feeding off people's misery, like.
Think about, cast your mind back 20 years ago. We're about the same age, right? 20 years ago. Apart from WWF magazine, there were nowhere else you could get your fucking wrestling news.
No.
I liked it.
Because Power Slam hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah, you used to. Well, you got WWF magazine, or you got the. There was it the wrestling magazine?
Yeah, Power Slam. No, Power Slam wouldn't have been out. Yeah, Power Slam wouldn't have been out. I think Power Slam came out.
You had PWI as well that used to come out as a magazine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But unless you actively search for it, wrestling news, what you watched on telly, that's what you thought it were. I remember way back when. I think it was not long after Channel 5 launched when they were showing. They started showing WCW, and then Channel 4, obviously, they were showing WWF. And Channel 4 on the old-fashioned text, you could on their teletext, there was ring 0906666 or whatever number were to get the full story of all this, and press 1 and it'd be Undertaker backstage talking to somebody. Press 01. Or Triple H and Stephanie arguing amongst each other. Press 02. And it were like, that was basically, and you were like, what does that mean? And you never did it because, you know, if you did it, it cost you five quid a minute.
It was basically your Monday Raw segments. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically what it was.
It was the talking smack and stuff like that of basically ring this number to find out what's going on. Or you could ring like a WWF magazine. You could ring their fucking chat line. And you could hear pre-recorded comments of various managers and wrestlers and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was, for me, that was what made wrestling, that what made us all fall in love with it.
Yeah.
It weren't like, if I were a brand new wrestling fan as of 2017 and I'm fucking 10 years old, that A, there's far too much brand new content to be invested as you once were. And B, you find out stuff before you see it on TV far too fucking much.
Yeah.
Because people will post and sites will post stuff without getting any spoiler alerts and all.
Exactly.
But anyway, we've digressed far away from WCW. See, this is how much it means. Up next, for the WCW Tag Team titles, we have the insiders of Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page against the perfect event of one Chuck Palumbo and one Meat. Of your new Tag Team champions, Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page. Kevin Nash, yet again, is wearing a belt in WCW. At the ripe old age of, I want to say, maybe 45 or something. And remember, we're in a new era. We've had new blood. We're in a new era. So it's a new era. New. And the new Chuck Palumbo and the not so new, maybe newish Sean Stacey.
Well, it was like, is that clip we seen the other that was posted on that Wrestling Babble? Kevin Nash basically schooling a lad in the ring, still trying to be relevant.
I could not understand the fucking word that Kevin Nash said.
No,
could not understand an absolute fucking word. But enough of Kevin Nash. He doesn't deserve our time. Goldberg defeats Lex Luger in a singles match in 5 minutes.
Move on.
Main event. Now, can you remember at the start of this we were discussing the artwork of the poster for the pay-per-view, and it's Scott Steiner in a straitjacket.
Yep.
Our main event is a straitjacket steel cage match for the WCW World Heavyweight title. Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, holla if you hear me, is your new.
I didn't mind Scott Steiner in WCW at the end. Do you know what I mean? It was what it was.
So moving on then to our next pay-per-view, which is Starrcade. Now, attendance. Do you want to have a quick reminder what the attendance at Mayhem was? It was 3,800. At Starrcade, what's the attendance?
Jesus.
Do you want me to give you the arena? Because that helped with Mayhem.
Well, the arena was Washington, D.C., wasn't it?
Yeah, the MCI Centre.
Yeah. I'm just looking now. Attendance. 6,596.
That is it. So we've doubled nearly.
Yes.
So, just have a quick recap of Mayhem. Was a 0.12 buy of 55,000 people. Starcade, we've nearly doubled in attendance. What do you think we've done in this in the buys market?
Oof. Don't know. You tell me. You find
0.11.
Wow.
50,000 buys.
Right, we have the capacity now for it's home to obviously an NBA franchise called the Washington Wizards. And an NHL. Who was the NHL? George University team. There we go. It's also home to the Georgetown Hoyas. With the Washington Capitals, and it doesn't actually. Oh, yeah, the Washington Mystics. Tell me, it was actually the women's basketball. It's actually in an NBA. It's 20,308. So if you see how much seating's left.
Jesus.
And then in the NHL, it's 18,506.
So think about then how many people have actually been. How many's taped off? Do you know what I mean? Would you say 20,000 then?
20,000. So
and they've got just short of 7.
You're talking less than less than half.
You're talking one side for your hard camera, and maybe round the aisleway and just a bit round the other side of the ring. Everything else will be dark.
They're probably just using freaking a quarter of the bottom tier.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's terrible.
So let's get onto the card then. So we open up with the cruiserweights, but it's not a cruiserweight title match. It's a fucking cruiserweight ladder match. We have got the team of 3 Count of Shane Helms, Shannon Moore, defeated the Young Dragons of Young Yang and Kaz Hayashi, and the team of the Dream Team, as we spoke about before, of Jamie Noble and Evan Courageous, the Cruiserweight Dream Team. Can you remember? Can you remember maybe 5 years ago, and the Cruiserweight Dream Team was like Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman?
Yeah.
Well, this year's Cruiserweight Dream Team, this era is Jamie Noble and Evan Courageous.
Told you that. It's yin and yang.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The fact that they're not winning either. I don't think since Yin and Yang have teamed together, I don't think they've got a victory. The team's fucking not working. Maybe Jamie Noble needs to go back to fucking...
They need Jeremy Kyle. That's what they need.
Yeah. Fucking... So, Young Dragons, what is it with Jamie Noble that you're not happy with? Is it the fact that he's a Southern American hick and he's pretending to be Asian? Is that the issue? And 3 Count. You were selling records, platinum records. Why is it that Evan Courageous all of a sudden you want to go all PJ and Duncan and you want to be a twosome? Because think about it, 3 Count. 911, they were quite successful. And if Evan joins you again, let's get Graham in. Graham, come in. So Graham comes in. So Graham goes, right. Evan. He goes, Shannon. He goes, right. Think about it. When you were young, Johnny, you were like brothers. Do you know what I mean? I know you had that situation with Tank, and you were unsure whether Tank was trying to infiltrate the little group that you had together. But Tank's not around anymore, right? And Jamie is you can see obviously he's like John, when you fall out of love and you instant rebound, it's like Jamie is Evan's rebound. He doesn't need him. Allow Evan to come back into the fold, and maybe next year you could be fucking headlighting Butlins. Do you know what I mean? You don't know if you just give it a chance. You know what I mean? But then fucking Nydia comes roaming in, doesn't she?
Oh God!
Yeah,
oh God!
And she's like with Jamie Noble. Well,
Nydia!
We've got a caravan. Nydia! We've got a caravan, and then we cut to break.
That's it.
So 3 Count get a victory, and we move on. Lance Storm, obviously, the last pay-per-view we've seen is lost the United States title. He defeats Ernest Miller, so he's not even involved in a rematch. So where's his rematch? WCW final year booking. Basic fundamentals. That is back to basics. Champion, if he loses the title, he gets an instant rematch at a pay-per-view.
Terrible. Lance Storm.
Up next for the hardcore title,
Ugh.
Terry Funk defeats Crowbar. So the hardcore title, it seems to be a thing now where every month we're getting a brand new champion. I know obviously we're getting the bollocks with the world title where we're getting all these fucking title changes, but it seems to be like we're doing it with every title. There seems to be no...
Who in the right mind comes up with the idea, man, to give these over 10 minutes?
Because they're still trying to run off the hype that WWE's hardcore division had. And still is.
Shocking.
If you think, what are we? We're in December?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're in December of fucking 2000. And look at the equivalent in the hardcore division in WWE with your Steve Blackmans and everybody else. Crash Hollies and even your Shane McMahon's getting involved and everybody else. Compare that to your WCW's hardcore division of Teddy Funk and fucking Nasty Boys fucking Brian Knobbs.
Well, you're 24/7. Your 24/7 is just about kicking in.
That's what made it a thing. Do you know what I mean? I think the 24/7 was kind of just an idea that we'll see what happens and see if it runs with it. And, well, it's not the 24, it was Crash Holly. He made it a thing. He made people stand up because it was that. And to be fair, I know we shitted on him not only 10 minutes ago, but JR and Jerry Lawler, the way that they used to build up Crash Holly as like the little Elroy Jetson, little underrated fucking, he gets out of, what was it, the Houdini of hardcore, they used to call him. Get out of any situation. Do you know what I mean? And Crash Holly made that division, and fortunately had people around him like Bob Holly, like Taz. Do you know what I mean? That kind of these middle of the road mid carders, but stick them in a division. Like Steve Blackman made it his own with his little bag of tricks and that, and Al Snow made it his own numerous times. Like Al Snow, 2 years after it first started, he was reinventing himself with bringing the fucking bowling ball to the ring and using that to roll it in people. Do you know what I mean? It was hardcore. I miss it so much, and I know it died out. Obviously, what we're doing on the Ruthless Aggression, we saw. In the first 4 months of what we were doing, we saw the deaths of the hardcore titles. We saw that getting that blended with the European title, but the hardcore division, that what it was with, granted you had your Tommy Dreamers and your Bradshaws and stuff, but it was nothing compared to your Crash Hollies. But I'd happily take a Dreamer against Bradshaw match than a fucking Ernest or Cat Miller against fucking Nasty Boys Brian Knobbs.
Yeah, definitely.
Chronic, the crushing Adam Bomb. They've ditched Daz Wunderkid. They have a match with Big Vito and Reno that ends in a no contest in 8.5 minutes.
Enough said.
We've discussed it before. I like Reno, and I was never. I can't say I ever disliked Big Vito, but it's Adam Bomb and Crush. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And
they were like built. They were like built for the death of WCW, weren't they?
They really were. It was like I started to think that Vince Russo was a spy.
They must have. I mean, obviously they obviously got that chance. You got to ask yourself a question: would they got themselves the chance in WWE if they hadn't have already been in WWE? I think that's what.
No,
not
at all. No.
That's why they got in, because there's no way would they have been given deals.
Vince Russo always harps on about I were a fucking mastermind, but all he did was just pinch WWE talent especially during this run. He looked at ex-WWE talent and thought, right, well, I know you're good and fans will recognise you, so we just have to give you another gimmick and it'll be fine because fans will recognise you and they'll be warming to you because they know who you are. But it just, when it's Adam Bomb and Crush, I'm sorry, it was not exactly the Ultimate Warrior and fucking Hulk Hogan, is it?
Yeah.
Up next, we have Big Big. He's in that infamous ambulance match with Mike Awesome.
Big Bigelow. Nothing. Nothing.
Big.
Big Bigelow.
Do you know if only Big Big would have come back to WWE, and I would have had Big Big in our God division. Let's Big become Bam Bam again.
It probably would have worked. It would have worked. It would have worked.
Yeah, lose a bit of timber and come down to more Bam Bam than Big.
Yeah, it definitely would have worked.
I'm not saying stick. Well, it kind of worked for Tatanka for that small nostalgia run in 06.
It's another one it probably would have worked for was Vader.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? You're talking guys that were freaking ruthless. Do you know what I mean?
Shamrock, right? When Cruiserweight, when Hardcore division was starting, Ken Shamrock was TNA champion. Ken Shamrock would have been fucking mint. Like him and Steve Blackman, I enjoyed their feud, but imagine it in like hardcore rules. Would have been fucking quality. So up next is for the United States Heavyweight Championship. General election, Hugh Morris defeats Shane Douglas. Is there again. Here, there, everywhere, Shane Douglas.
Who in the right mind, man, would have took on Shane Douglas?
Up next, Jeff Jarrett. Now, during the pay-per-views, we have seen the alliance, let's say, of Jeff Jarrett and one, well, I say one because they look fucking both exactly like each other, Don and Ron. Oh, disciples of Apocalypse.
Don and Ron, the Harris brothers.
So, we've now currently got on the roster Don, Ron, and Crush. We're like one step away of getting DOA.
Jesus Christ.
They defeated
they
defeated the Filthy Animals of Conan, Rey Mysterio, and Billy Kidman. Now, I know we've touched on it before. I liked the Filthy Animals before they got involved in the New Blood bollocks. When they were the Filthy Animals and they were a bit fun. They were alright, but I've always been a fan of the team of Kidman and Rey Mysterio. And Conan, I've never disliked him, so I throw him in there as well. It could work, but it's dying deaths, isn't it? It's dying deaths. Speaking of dying deaths, tag team title match is next, and they give them again over 10 minutes of the Insiders. Kevin Nash and DDP defeated yet again the Perfect Event of Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stasiak. So 2 pay-per-views in a row. The New Blood, the New Era, shat on by Kevin Nash and his creative control.
Buried. Yeah.
The equivalent of the Triple H and his fucking burial of 2002, 3, 4 Monday Night Raw. And up next, in a no-holds-barred match, Goldberg defeats Lex Luger. Lex Luger's like Shane Douglas. He's been on every pay-per-view.
You know what I mean? You don't wish death on anyone, but you know, coming into this, you just wish Lex would go away in the corner like an old dog, didn't you? I always remember him leaving WWE, what was WWF at the time, and then showing up on Nitro, and Nitro was being filmed in a mall.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember it? It cuts to Lex Luger and his white blouse. I was like, oh, it wasn't a shirt, that was a blouse.
Yeah, but they can't
Comes
say
to
his
his shit
name.
and he's everyone marking out. That's Lex Luger. What's he doing here?
Well, no, they didn't say his name, did they?
I can't remember. But all I heard was Lex Luger. What's he doing here? And all I heard was someone else say, oh, "It's a mall. He's obviously shopping."
I know. I think I might be getting it confused with Scott Hall, to be fair, 'cause I know they didn't say his name because they couldn't buy legal wise.
Yeah.
They might do. Yeah, but with Lex Luger, obviously they brought him back after his run in WWF because they kind of saw him in the eyes that Vince McMahon did, but unfortunately the fans didn't. That he was going to be.
There was another scenario, wasn't it? Luger's contract ran out on the Sunday of the pay-per-view, and he showed up on Monday Night Nitro, didn't he?
Yeah, and he never be able to hit them heights because he was never that good in the first place. But he was shit in the ring, man. So moving on to our main event, your current reigning defending WCW Heavyweight Champion Big Papa Pump defeats fucking Sid Vicious.
Because he just shows desperation, doesn't it?
Psycho fucking Sid.
Desperation.
Overall thoughts of that pay-per-view?
Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to abolish it. I'm not going to abolish it because, you know. Actually, no, I am going to abolish it because I'm actually looking down. I'm looking through again, and I was about to say you didn't really have a lot to play with, but you had more than enough to play with. You know what I mean?
You had fucking half of the power plant that
you've
called up at once.
A ladder match.
Like, where's Mike Sanders?
You know.
Where's Mike Sanders?
Where's
Arthur?
Where's O'Hare?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Jindrak?
Where's Jindrak? You know.
Where's Candido?
Where's Candido?
Because I'm sure he's not passed away yet.
You know, you're looking at it and you're thinking, are you serious? I mean, Elix Skipper.
Elix Skipper, all he's doing is being manager for Lance Storm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was better than that, man. You know what I mean? You've got a ladder match there, for God's sake, right? You know, did you really need that ladder match to be a tag team ladder match? Couldn't you just made it a ladder match for cruiserweights?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You've got your hardcore championship, right? It didn't really need to happen, but we'll argue that it did. Chronic. All right, everyone likes a tag team match, but Mike Awesome was better than that.
Well,
Mike Awesome, right?
I'm
going to argue this, right? And I'm gonna, in all honesty, was good enough to replace Sid Vicious in that match against Scott Steiner.
Totally agree.
Right?
But what they were trying to do was replicate ECW. Because Bam Bam Bigelow and Mike Awesome was quite the feud in ECW for that short period of time.
And basically, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to, actually, is trying to look, and I'm trying to swap people in matches. Mike Awesome, definitely. That match ambulance match doesn't need to happen.
Your filthy animals, right? They get separated from that tag team match and they get added to the cruiserweight. You turn it into a 6, 7, 8, 9 man cruiserweight invitational.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chronic to go back to unemployment.
Jeff Jarrett goes against Goldberg.
Get rid of Lex Luger.
Do you know?
Yeah, get rid of Lex Luger. And then, what about your fucking tag team titles? Your insiders and fucking your perfect event. So we move on.
Ironclad.
We move on. It is we are on that straight and narrow now. Up next is probably, I'd say, the worst name ever for a pay-per-view ever in history ever, and that's even worse than Heroes of Wrestling. One Sin. On January the 14th, 2001.
I was going to say you can't talk about Great Balls of Fire yet, lad.
Oh my good God in heaven. Goodness gracious. Right, honestly, when I saw it on Twitter, I thought, nah, that's just a fucking...
It's joking.
I was like, it's got to be too late. It's not April Fool's. It's far too late for that. Is it some sort of wind-up day that I don't know about? And then, I'll say legitimate, but with my fucking fingers up in air. Sites started reporting it. I'm like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the Twitter account that reported it, and it was WWE's official Twitter account for Dallas. I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, no, you haven't you? Oh, you've gone. Oh, dear. And it's dear. Like, whoa, dear. Where have you got that from? You're going back to a song from the 60s?
Yeah.